hope you can hear me over the fan noise, but hey, it's part of the video. If you go camping in the springtime or the summertime, you're gonna need a good camping fan. There are two different categories for fans. You want a fan while you're sleeping in your tent at night, and you also want a fan that you can just sit out in the shade when it's really hot out and have a good breeze blowing on you. Some of these fans are perfect for one scenario, but not the other. And at the very end, I'll show you my favorite, which is perfect for both scenarios. Stay tuned. Oh, hey, did I tell you about my new merch store? So if you like the content I'm putting out, go to my channel and become a supporter by buying some merch from my merch store. The description is down below. I will have a drawing once a month to give away stuff. Everybody who buys something in my merch store, you will automatically be entered in the drawing. Free prizes. Okay, the first fan I'm going to talk about is it's called a sports fan. What that is, it's this little device right here. It has lights, first of all, and it has 3 speeds: low, medium, high, and off. And the way this thing works is you put it around your neck and you can point it at your face, which is really cool if you don't have a beard. Problem is I can't use it because it sucks my beard in there and gets tangled up, and you can only imagine. But for sitting around the campsite, just kind of cool down a little bit, or even at a sporting event, as the name suggests, this is a pretty neat little fan. You just can't use it if you have a long beard. But for you beardless people out there, this is a nice little fan. Now I don't think you could sleep with it in your tent, because you'd be rolling over and it'd be like getting all up in your eyeballs and stuff. So, yeah, but that's my first fan. Okay, the second fan today is this little guy right here. It's called a desk air. It runs off USB. So you can hook it up to a battery bank, and it's got a clip, so you can clip it to a little bedside table and have it blowing right on your face while you're sleeping in a tent at night. But it's a cool little fan, so it'd be good for inside the tent. It does have like 3 speeds: first speed, second speed, high speed. But if you could clip this right next to you, just kind of blow on your face, this would be a good little tent fan for one person. But you know, for a little USB fan, it's pretty cool. Okay, the next fan today is the O2COOL Fan. This was like one of the first fans I got when I started pulling my little trailer behind my motorcycle. This thing would fit inside my trailer. It's a real cool fan. It uses D-size batteries, you know, like D-size, the big batteries. But you can also, if you have electricity, you can plug it in. So let's take a look at it. Now the way this thing works is you got these little slots here. You can take them, undo it with a quarter, and then you've got D-size batteries inside here. That kind of gives this weight so it stands really well. Right right now my batteries are run down because the switch is a little complicated. In the middle is off. Oh wait, I do have battery power. Didn't work earlier. Okay, right is low, left is high. But you can also plug it in. Comes with a little power adapter so you can plug it in. It's a good little fan for inside the tent, but outside, if you had it sitting right next to you, maybe at face level, it might cool you down a little, but it's not that great outside. I tried it in Palo Duro Canyon in August on my way to Colorado, and this, you know how hot it gets in Palo Duro Canyon in August. And it really didn't do much outside to cool me down. But inside the tent at night, it does a good job. It worked perfect. I put it on my little bedside table, face level, have it blowing right on my face, and it does help cool you down. But this is a nice fan. If you want to get a fan for your tent, I highly suggest this. But for outside, sitting around the shade, not so much. For my next fan, this is just your normal everyday box fan. This is good for inside the tent. Puts out a good airflow. You do have to have electricity in your site to use it. But the problem with being outside is the legs are like really flimsy. See those little legs right there? So it blows over real easy if you get any kind of wind at all. Yeah, for a tent fan, this is like your cheapest little Walmart. Everybody carries these things. Just a cheap little box fan will work in your tent. Now if you have electricity in your site and you have room to haul something big to your campsite, this is a Utilitech. I bought this at Lowe's. It puts out a lot of air. This thing is perfect for sitting in the shade, just trying to cool down. You can set this thing 10 feet away and it will keep you cool. It has 3 different speeds. That's high, and that's putting out a lot of wind. That feels really good right here. But as far as a tent fan, it's a little big for a tent fan. The last time I took it camping, what I actually did was I opened up all the windows on the front of my tent, and I set this outside of my tent and had it blowing inside on full blast, and it kept me cool all night. The only problem is if you're expecting rain, I don't think you'd want to leave your fan outside running all night. So you have to have electricity and you have to have enough room to haul this with you. And I actually hauled it on top of my little trailer. And I thought I was going to start taking this all the time whenever I had electrical sites, but then I found a better solution, a much better solution. I'll show you that one next. Okay, now let me show you my absolute favorite. This is the DeWalt 20-volt fan. It has low speed all the way up to high speed. I'm gonna turn it off so you can hear me. This thing is indestructible. I've seen people spray it down with a water hose, so it's very, very water resistant. I wouldn't put it underwater, but very water resistant. I've seen somebody drop one of these off the top of a roof onto concrete. It bounced and still ran. It uses these 20-volt DeWalt batteries. You can get, I think the lowest is 2 amps or 2.5 amps, all the way up to, gosh, I think they're like 12 amps, maybe even higher. Did a little test with this fan, putting in a 6 amp hour battery. I've got 2 of the DeWalt batteries. I have what's called a Waitley battery, and I tried it on low first. I was hoping to get, you know, at least 5, 6, 7 hours out of it. On low, this fan ran for 75 hours and 18 minutes. That's 75 hours and 18 minutes. That's crazy. So then I put a fresh battery in it. I ran it on high, and it went 13 hours and 40 minutes on high. And this thing is variable speed. I mean, that's low. that's high, and you can go anywhere in between. So you can get all kinds of battery power out of this. Now, these batteries are a little expensive, but if you've already got DeWalt tools, you probably have some of these laying around. But if you need to buy them, another thing you can do, you can get these Waitley batteries on Amazon. These are like cheap knockoff batteries. They're 6 amp hour also, but they don't last as long as the DeWalt battery. But it's a third of the price of the other battery. I did a test on high. This one went 11 hours and 46 minutes, whereas the DeWalt battery on high went 13 hours and 40 minutes. So it's just a little bit less, but not a lot. But for a third of the price, you could buy 3 of these things for the price of one of those and get a lot more time. You can also hang this thing. It's got these pull-out things right here. So you can also hang it from something. Like the little hole there is the size of a tripod mount. The big hole, I believe is the size for using one of those transits. But you've also got these 2 big holes. So, I mean, you could get some rebar or something, drive a couple into the ground and set that on it right at face level while you're sitting out on the campsite. That's another option you can do with it. If you have electricity in your site, I don't know if you can see this. There's a place right there. You can plug in an extension cord. But yeah, this is my favorite right here. All around, very versatile. Puts out a good breeze. Alright, so in conclusion, for a good fan to sit outside and just have a fan blowing on you to cool down, this is my absolute favorite. The Utilitech, followed by the DeWalt. As far as inside of your tent at night, the DeWalt is my absolute favorite, followed by the O2COOL. But you also have to keep in mind, you have to have electricity on your site if you have the big fan. The DeWalt and the O2COOL will work battery powered or with electricity, either one. And that is the conclusion of my fan video. If you're a fan, go buy some of my merch. Stay cool out there.